The loneliest moment in someone's life is when they are watching their whole world fall apart, and all they can do is stare blankly. That is part of the beauty of all literature. You discover that your longings are universal longings, that you're not lonely and isolated from anyone. You belong. Show me a hero, and I'll write you a tragedy. Angry and half in love with her, and tremendously sorry, I turned away. I don't want to repeat my innocence. I want the pleasure of losing it again. I fell in love with her courage, her sincerity, and her flaming self-respect. And it's these things I'd believe in, even if the whole world indulged in wild suspicions that she wasn't all she should be. I love her, and it's the beginning and ending of everything. And I like large parties. They're so intimate. At small parties, there isn't any privacy. I was within and without, simultaneously enchanted and repelled by the inexhaustible variety of life. And so, with the sunshine and the great burst of leaves growing on the trees, just as things grow in fast movies, I had that familiar conviction that life was beginning over again with the summer. He smiled understandingly, much more than understandingly. It was one of those rare smiles with a quality of reassurance in it that you may come across 4 or 5 times in life. It faced, or seemed to face, the whole eternal world for an instant, and then concentrated on you with an irresistible prejudice in your favor. It understood you just as far as you wanted to be understood, believed in you as you would like to believe in yourself, and assured you that it had precisely the impression of you that, at your best, you hoped to convey. I wasn't actually in love, but I felt a sort of tender curiosity. I'm not sentimental. I'm as romantic as you are. The idea, you know, is that the sentimental person thinks things will last. The romantic person has a desperate confidence that they won't. Let us learn to show our friendship for a man when he is alive and not after he is dead. You see, I usually find myself among strangers because I drift here and there, trying to forget the sad things that happened to me. There are only the pursued, the pursuing, the busy, and the tired. Whenever you feel like criticizing anyone, just remember that all the people in this world haven't had the advantages that you've had. Life starts all over again when it gets crisp in the fall. It was only a sunny smile, and little it cost in the giving. But like morning light, it scattered the night and made the day worth living. You don't write because you want to say something. You write because you have something to say. They slipped briskly into an intimacy from which they never recovered. Cut out all these exclamation points. An exclamation point is like laughing at your own joke. I want to know you moved and breathed in the same world with me. Things are sweeter when they're lost. I know, because I once wanted something and got it. It was the only thing I ever wanted badly. And when I got it, it turned to dust in my hand. You'll find another? God, banish the thought. Why don't you tell me that if the girl had been worth having, she'd have waited for you? No, sir. The real girl worth having won't wait for anybody. In his blue gardens, men and girls came and went like moths among the whispering and the champagne and the stars. There are all kinds of love in this world, but never the same love twice. Never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat. All I kept thinking about over and over was, you can't live forever. You can't live forever. Here's to alcohol, the rose-colored glasses of life. First, you take a drink. Then the drink takes a drink. Then the drink takes you. It's a great advantage not to drink among hard-drinking people. I don't want just words. If that's all you have for me, you'd better go. So we drove on, towards death, through the cooling twilight. Think how you love me, she whispered. I don't ask you to love me always like this, but I ask you to remember. You'll always be like this to me. But promise me you'll remember. Her tears were falling. I'll be different, but somewhere lost inside me, there will always be the person I am tonight. I felt a haunting loneliness sometimes, and felt it in others, young clerks in the dusk, wasting the most poignant moments of night and life. As I sat there, brooding on the old, unknown world, he had come a long way to this blue dawn. His dream must have seemed so close that he could hardly fail to grasp it. He did not know that it was already behind him, somewhere back in the vast obscurity beyond the city, where the dark fields of the Republic rolled on under the night. He believed in the orgiastic future that year by year recedes before us. It eluded us then, but that's no matter. Tomorrow, we will run faster, stretch out our arms farther, and one fine morning. So we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past. His heart beat faster and faster as Daisy's white face came up to his own. He knew that when he kissed this girl and forever wed his unutterable visions to her perishable breath, his mind would never romp again like the mind of God. So he waited, listening for a moment longer to the tuning fork that had been struck upon a star. Then he kissed her. At his lips' touch, she blossomed like a flower, and the incarnation was complete. No amount of fire or freshness can challenge what a man will store up in his ghostly heart. He looked at her the way all women want to be looked at by a man. Actually, that's my secret. I can't even talk about you to anybody because I don't want any more people to know how wonderful you are. It was always the becoming he dreamed of, never the being. It takes two to make an accident. I love her, and that's the beginning and end of everything. Everyone suspects himself of at least one of the cardinal virtues, and this is mine. I am one of the few honest people that I have ever known. I am a slave to my emotions, to my likes, to my hatred of boredom, to most of my desires. Writers aren't people exactly. Or if they're any good, there are a whole lot of people trying so hard to be one person. If personality is an unbroken series of successful gestures, then there was something gorgeous about him. Their eyes met, and they stared together at each other, alone in space. With an effort, she glanced down at the table. She had told him that she loved him, and he saw. There is a moment, just before the first kiss, a whispered word, something that makes it worthwhile.